Hey guys, welcome back to the farm. We're going to have a few episodes here because it's going to be a long video. And we're going to cover what it takes for us to butcher a hog. Butchering this hog, most of it's going to end up in sausages and bratwurst. So we'll go inside and hand the camera off to my wife Stephanie, who will show you what it takes to season, and then we'll stuff those bratwursts. But first, we need to pick out the hog, and we need to start right from the beginning. Today's the day. This is the third of 3 hogs that we have had. This is a male, and it's a crossbreed. It looks like a regular feeder pig, but it's a crossbred with a heritage breed. And that means that this pig basically puts on more muscle than fat. So that's good. You'll see when we skin it. But the most important thing for us is to make sure that we have this hog end up in a spot when we dispatch it that we can actually get it out of here. So we're gonna go to that back corner. And he hasn't eaten for 24 hours, so there shouldn't be a problem to get him to come over there. Okay, we're over on this side. We have our chain ready. We have our hog. He's working his way over here. So our goal is to have him end up right there. Then I can get a hold of him and lift him out with the tractor. We're going to use a tractor with forks, and we wrap that chain around there. And we'll wash him first, which we have the hose set up, and then hang it up to skin it. Sometimes I'll skin it right on the tractor forks, and other times I'll hang it. It just depends on how it goes. We have all the knives laid out. We have skinning knives. We got a gut hook knife, another very expensive and very sharp skinning knife, a long fillet knife, that's for jabbing it when you dispatch. We have hooks for grabbing onto the skin if our fingers won't hold it. And we have some inexpensive knives which work really well for boning, getting the skin started. For some reason, this knife, it gets sharp and stays sharp, so I love it, even though it's an inexpensive knife. Fillet knife is just another option, which I really love fillet knives throughout the years. And then a cool sharpener, steel, but then also you've got the ceramic and the cutting blades on this one. And then we have the saw. This is going to be a useful tool when we slice the carcass in half to cool off. Show you that in just a little bit. One thing that I've learned with butchering, dispatching hogs, their skull is a lot stronger than other animals. We found out that the smaller caliber weapons, 22 mag, doesn't quite do the trick. So we're gonna use a gun that we know is quite powerful, and that is chambered in a 350 Legend. And we know that's gonna work. We're gonna drive it down and hose this guy off. But we've hooked up a scale. And can you guess how much it weighs? It's almost as tall as me. It's almost 6 feet long. Any guesses as to how many pounds it is? Check it out. This is, see if we can get it to focus. That is 334 pounds. Wow! I knew he was big. 334 pounds. Now, since we have the scale hooked up, we're gonna see how much it weighs after the skin and the insides come out. We'll ask you again to guess, how much weight do we reduce to the fur, hide, and insides? In my experience butchering, that would be lambs, deer, hogs, anything with 4 legs have similar anatomy. So that means these spots right here, if you want to hang it up, there's a tendon that runs right here, and then the hock, or you know, the leg right there. So you slice it all the way through. You can see on this side, that is where these hooks go in and hang, and it'll hang the full weight of the animal. Now, if you cut this tendon, the carcass is going to fall down, so you don't want to do that. I'll tell you something that's just as important as having the right equipment, like knives and a tractor to lift a hog, or tunes. Gotta have tunes. There we go. This so happens to be a great tune for my DJing days. All right, let's get to work before it gets dark. You may be wondering, why did I start right at the end of the day? Well, there's still snow on the ground. One of the big things with butchering hogs is getting them to cool down as quickly as possible. So once I get this skinned and cut in half and hang tonight, be in the low 30s, 30s tomorrow. That gives us time to hang so that the meat can cool down as quickly as possible. If this were summertime, we'd want to look at using a big cooler full of ice for 24 hours, but we have the luxury of this cold temperature, but not too cold. So we're gonna keep the scale on it this entire time. I washed, it was 334, 333, now it's 327. So just by washing the mud off it, it lost some weight. So we're gonna keep that scale on there as we skin this, so we can show you how much the skin weighs, how much the inside weighs, just to give you an idea if you ever bought a portion of a hog, how it all works out. So we're gonna start by making a small incision here and then working our way up each side of the legs, and then we'll skin around these legs all the way down and get this cold air on this carcass. All right, there's the skinned hog. Heads off it. The next step before we hang it up, before it gets dark here, is to open it up and to gut it. And then once that's done, we'll split it. Of course, I'm not gonna show you that, but I will tell you that we'll start with the saw right here and cut up right through here before we do anything up top. That's some tricky business up there. We won't show you that just because of YouTube rules, but I think you'll get the idea. There's stuff in there. Gotta come out. All right, the insides are out. Now, I'm gonna cut right down the backbone and split this thing apart, but not all the way through. I'm gonna start right about where the neck starts. So between the shoulders, and split it apart so it cools off. You can use a Sawzall if you have a stainless steel blade, which I do not. That's why I'm going with the saw. Plus it's old school. I wanted you to see what this hanging weight is. Started at 333, about 334. Skinned. Insides removed, head removed. We're coming in just under 210 pounds. Wow. So a lot of weight is the skin and the insides. And it's getting dark, perfect timing. It'll get even chillier tonight and it'll cool it down, which is the most important thing. Pork you don't let hang for several days. About 24 hours to get everything cooled down. And then I'll show you tomorrow how to cut it up into primal cuts. Then we'll take it inside, cut it up so that we can grind it on another day, because after we cut it up, we'll set it outside for these 20-degree nights and get that meat all crystallized and almost frozen so it can go through the grinder really well. And then Stephanie will show you the special mixes that go into the different types of sausages and bratwursts that we're gonna make. But it's getting dark. I'll put a fence around this for any animals to stay off it. Clean up all the knives. Get them sanitized. And that does it for this part of the mission. Whew. Clean up and rest.